One of the challenges when it comes to writing about reflection for students is recognizing that in all reflective models, particularly as you come around the bottom end of that model, there's a process of insight that is required. In other words, what has changed in terms of my attitude or behavior? And that change isn't something that existed prior, because that's just habit. So how do I recognize what needs to change? Well, I need new information. Now that insight can either come through reading a book, having a conversation with somebody, critically reflecting on your experience and recognizing your responsibility, recognizing something you've never seen before. Now a really good illustration of this is at our particular college, students come in and scan their cards to register their attendance. And how many times I've seen a student scan their card, they get a red X, and so what do? They scan it again. Now reflection says, unless we recognize the habitual patterns in our actions, as Einstein said, only a fool will do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So there's no point in scanning the card over and over and over again. It's still going to have a red X. What the student needs to realize, and this is the insight, this is the little bit at the bottom of all the models, is that what they're trying to do is register their attendance. But this machine on the wall is not working. There is another way. They can go to the tutor, here's a piece of paper, they can write their name on the paper, their student number, and they can have a written record of their attendance. Now that means they need to walk away from this card machine on the wall, walk towards the tutor, communicate with the tutor, write their name down, and leave the piece of paper with the tutor. A completely different action. And that's what's required when we're reflecting on our practice. Not just the same habits over and over again, wondering why we get the same results, but understanding that we need new information, we need insight in order to have a new action or a new attitude.